So in today's episode, I'm gonna take you guys along with me. A lot of people have asked me. A lot of people that don't really get out and hunt have asked me, how do you find these deer? What do you look for? And how do you know where they're gonna be? Well, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. But we're gonna head down in here on this property and I'll show you what I'm looking for. Okay, so what we have here, we've got a thicket that runs between two fields. So this field here, as you can see, has been mowed down. And then the field on the other side is all goldenrod. So when it comes to these deer, I like these thickets. And these tracks look to be late last night or very early this morning. So in theory, I could follow them. I could try to track that deer out. But they're not as fresh as I'd like them to be. And the reason why I know that is because there's a little bit of snow down in there. And it did snow a little bit this morning. There's a good chance that deer is still in this area somewhere. As you can see, out in there is all goldenrod. Now again, you can see the snow in these tracks. So they're still not that fresh, but these ones are definitely a lot fresher than the other ones. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here to this opening and take a look and see if maybe I can catch them laying. Because there is a little bit of wind. So what I'm particularly interested in right now, I'm looking for, because everything's sticking straight up, all the goldenrod, all the brush and everything is all sticking straight up. What I'm looking for are horizontal lines out here, dark horizontal lines especially. That would get my attention as a deer. And while I'm doing this, I'm watching the base of these trees and kind of these bigger sets of brush. the same time, I'm also watching for any brush to move. You know, any of this goldenrod starts shaking real good. That indicates that there's a deer walking through there. So you can see where this deer's been browsing. Way out through. So I'm hoping is that deer either got full up and is laying out in here, or it just decided to lay down. So right now I'm taking a look around to see what's around. And I got these pines over here. Got some heavier brush over here. You know, good spots for the deer to get into to lay low. So since I know where they're at, I know where they've been heading through, I can come up with a game plan. And I know that that group of trees right there is where they're bedding down all the time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my way back through this stand of hardwoods. And then I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna circle all the way around them. So what I'm also keeping in mind is that right out here ahead of me, there's bull. It's perfect for those deer to get in, you know, out of the cold, out of the wind. So I'm watching both sides here. So during archery season, this whole area was just littered with deer. So I'm gonna keep an extra close eye on all this up ahead of me. Now that I'm away from that field, I don't have to worry nearly as much about it until I get around the backside of this. also gonna do is check out right over here, because they've been known to cross down here, which they have been. So anytime you see like a little spot like this, it's worth it to stop and check and see if that's where they've been crossing. So this creek comes down around, then it loops back and around and back out over that way. And I'm gonna cut up through here. So as I make my way up to the edge of this field, I'm just kind of scanning back and forth, listening for, any brush movement. And again, I'm watching for horizontal lines, because everything's vertical. There's a lot of tracks right over here. They're kind of heading over this way. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye in that area, in that direction. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let this roll while I come out here, just in case I need to shoot real quick. So, walking over here, I'm keeping an eye out for deer, but I'm also looking for more sign of deer. And we got at least two rubs right here next to each other. There's one there. So I'm going to continue on, but I'm also watching along in this brush on the outside edge too. See if I can catch one laying in there. She might even be laid up under that pine tree right there. Well, I didn't see her over there anywhere, so I'm gonna continue on. But I mean, I know there's a big deer over here. So if it's a baldy, she's gonna go down. So on my way out of here, I'm just watching these, this brush line, these thickets. I'm also watching all this goldenrod field back behind me. If I would walk straight down here, the wind is cutting across that way. So anything that's down there would have been able to wind me long before I ever even saw that. So coming out and around and circling around. I kept the wind on my left shoulder, walking down in there, and that led me to walk up on that doe, and that other deer had no idea that I was even down there. Just because I was playing the wind. You know, if that's, it's crucial when you're hunting deer. Deer have 297 million scent receptors, which is around 60 times more than a human has. So their noses, they're dangerous when it comes to trying to hunt them. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. I'm in no way a professional hunter, but I just want to share some of my knowledge with you guys. Whether you're a beginning hunter, maybe you're a seasoned veteran that watched this. I hope you gain some kind of knowledge. I had the opportunity to take about an average sized doe down there, but I called my dad. It's his tag, so I called him and said, you want an average sized doe? And he said, nah, wait for a bigger one to come out, because he knows that there's big ones down there. We've been seeing tracks all over. They're good sized tracks. So maybe next time we'll get hooked up with one of them, but today just wasn't that day. But it's still a good day to get out here. It's nice and cold, got a breeze. Obviously the deer are moving. Saw them down there, could hear them. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and drop me a like, and leave me a comment. Let me know if you guys learned anything, and we'll see you on the next episode.